Hey cruisers, if you're looking to pack a little bit lighter or you just enjoy trying out some new things for your next cruise, I want to share with you several very small cruise items that also happen to be inexpensive that I packed with me on this particular trip. I'm actually on Norwegian Aqua right now, cruising out of Europe for an inaugural, and I wanted to travel with just a carry-on suitcase, so I challenged myself to go for it, but I did sneak in some tiny little essentials that I absolutely love to make me a little bit more comfortable on my cruise. So we're gonna go through all of these. I'll link to everything in the description of this video as well as pinned to the top of the comments. And if you stay to the end, I'll give you a quick little tiny tour of my very interesting stateroom. This is a different one, you guys. The first item is this new little jewelry organizer that I got on Amazon. It's much smaller than the other ones and it doesn't take up much space in my suitcase, but it still allowed me to feel like I was able to pack some fancy things with me, some necklaces, some rings, some earrings, things like that, all while not sacrificing any of that very valuable suitcase space. I'm sure that you can relate. I'm wondering, do you travel with any jewelry? When you go on a cruise, do you take your fancy jewelry? Do you take costume jewelry? Do you take no jewelry at all? Let me know what you pack with you. I usually pack a combination of like my wedding ring and my basics, but I don't take anything super fancy. The next thing that I brought with me on this cruise was a variety of different types of cables. I kept them pretty small for this trip because I knew that the outlets next to the bed were going to be really quite close to the little nightstand, so I didn't need anything longer. So I packed this little simple USB-C, USB-A combo cable, and I packed a multi-cable that has some different attachments on the end of it, including an Apple Watch charger. These multi-cables are really handy and they're so nice to have and they don't take up much space at all in your suitcase. Next, I bought a few petite types of chargers for different situations. This one here actually is MagSafe and it can go right onto my phone and has a little stand on the back. I've featured this in some videos before. It's really handy when you're on an airplane and you want to watch a movie, but you need to charge your device at the same time. Now, I also brought a second charger along with me, and this has really been my saving grace. This one charges very fast. It has built-in cables in it. And what I've been doing with this little guy is just tucking it into my purse. And when my phone dies, if I'm out and around the ship, I can just kind of plug it in and walk around with it, you know, in my purse, and it doesn't take up much space. It's also really nice if you're the kind of person who has other parties traveling with you and maybe they have different types of devices. This has a combination of USB-A, USB-C, micro and lightning, so it's a really nice thing to be able to share with other people. I also brought with me a couple of magnets. I didn't bring too many on this trip because I didn't think I would need them. And I was right. They have some built-in wall storage items that made it so that I didn't really need them much, but I always like having a little clip to put my paperwork on, and I brought one lightweight magnetic hook, and these have come in really, really handy. In the last year or so, I found these little clothespins that have a hook on them. These are really cool. You can do a lot of different things with them because they have this loop. You can hook them to the back of a lawn chair. You can use this little loop over the top of the clothesline in your shower, but it's always nice to have some sort of a clothespin with you when you travel. So I usually tuck a few of these into my bag, and I've been using them on this particular cruise to hang my swimsuit up in the shower after I go in the hot tub or on the water slide or whatever it may be. I also brought my little jeans or shorts hooks. These are great for the closet. If you want to be able to hang up your jeans or your shorts that have loops, like belt loops, you just loop this little guy through and hang them right up in the closet. It makes everything really easy to see. On my flight, these headphones came in really handy, but I had something else happen on this cruise that made these very worthwhile. There was some really bad weather the first couple of nights of our cruise, and there was a lot of banging and whooshing and kind of this like screeching sound from the wind. It was really dramatic weather. So I popped these into my ears while I was laying in bed to try to mute out some of the noise, and it was a lifesaver. But mostly I'm using these to like watch Netflix on the plane. They're really inexpensive and they have a fantastic battery life. In a recent haul video, I featured these little teeny tiny Kitsch shampoo and conditioner bars, and they have come in so handy on this cruise. I was a little bit worried about this product. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like the way my hair looked with a shampoo and conditioner bar. I'm kind of particular, but these are so small. They help you to reduce your liquids, and I found that the formulation just works out great for me. The hardest thing for me was trying to remember which one of these was the shampoo and which was the conditioner. This dark one, by the way, this is the shampoo. So once I kind of figured that out, it worked out great. But my hair has been really soft and cooperative, and I think I'm going to be traveling with these a lot more because they just are awesome space savers. I love taking perfume on a cruise too, but I really don't like how much space it takes up in my bags. So I got these little atomizers. They're working out great. So for those of you who saw these featured in last month's video, I love them. I love them so much that I actually brought 2 different types of perfumes, and they're super easy to fill up. Now, one of our subscribers had the best tip. On our last video that we did where we featured these, she said, make sure that when you get back from your trip that you empty them out. Use the rest of the perfume or it might kind of evaporate and they'll go to waste. So I think I would definitely take that into consideration. These come in a 4-pack and they're wonderful. I'm also loving this Perrette oil perfume. It's very coconutty. It smells amazing and I've been using it a lot. I just put it kind of onto my pulse points here. I have been avoiding putting it anywhere near my neck because I tend to be a little sensitive to fragrances, but I found if I put a little on my hair or my shirt, my pulse points, oh, you guys, I wish I could tell you how amazing this smells, but you're just gonna have to trust me. If you like coconutty beachy scents, definitely get this one. It's gonna bring the vacation vibe to whatever cruise that you're on, I promise you. So when I signed up for this cruise on Norwegian Aqua, they sent us a letter and said there is gonna be no laundry available. So I felt like, okay, at least if I wanna wash my socks, my swimsuit, little things like that, I need to bring some small items that would help me out. So I brought both Sink Suds detergent and these little Tide packets, and I've done a few little batches of sink laundry, and I've used these clothespins that I showed you earlier to kind of hang things up in the shower, and they have been working out really, really well. I also brought this travel size razor. You guys, this is so small. It has a nice little ergonomic kind of a handle here to it. And I mean, it's a little easier to use a full size razor, but I have been using this and it's been working out really, really nicely for me. And I do recommend it. I think that the one thing you should be aware of with this is that the little moisture kind of pads that are on them, they do wear out, so it won't last forever, but I've had it for probably 6 months and I haven't had any issues with it at all. I knew the weather was going to be bad over here in Europe, so I also packed myself some sneak erasers. These are like those magic erasers that you use when your kids crayon all over the walls. You just wet them a little tiny bit and you use them on your sneakers or your shoes. You know how you have a pair of tennies that are like absolutely beautiful, but you step outside, you go into a muddy puddle and it's all over. These help to get those scuff marks off, the dirt off. They're great. And they have 2 different sides to them with 2 different kinds of textures. Very, very handy. And I'm so glad that I packed one of these because my shoes, my sneakers have been getting a ton of wear on this cruise. This next item is so cool. This was one of the most popular things that we featured, I think, in our February Amazon haul. This is a clothespin sort of, I don't know what you call it. It's like a wrap and it goes over the towel bar in your bathroom. It's truly genius and is another great place to hang things that are wet, whether it's swimsuits or it could be, gosh, just about anything. If you go out for the day, maybe your hat gets a little bit wet on a shore excursion, you can hang it up on there and it's just awesome. These also work, according to one of our subscribers, these also work on some chairs on the balcony. So you might be able to put them on your balcony. Just make sure that you don't put anything out there while the ship is underway because that wind is going to be a real big problem. And it's against the rules for the cruise line as well. Another small thing that's come in so handy for me on this cruise is just these little teeny tiny Ziploc bags that you can grab at the grocery store. I'm not going to link to these because you guys know where you can get them, but it's been really great. I also highly, highly recommend that you pack this next item. I can almost promise you have this in your house and you don't have to buy it. A safety pin. On almost every cruise, trip, conference that I've gone on in the last few years, there has been an occasion that I've needed a safety pin. Has that happened to you guys too, where you're like, oh, I popped a button, or this shirt is just too deep cut and it's not gonna work for this occasion? Is it just me? I feel like I always need to have a safety pin. So that's something that I'm gonna make sure I have in my bag and it just stays in my travel bag at all times. These slippers don't really qualify as super tiny, but I feel that they're kind of compact. I bought myself a new pair of these before the cruise. They're kind of a funny color. They're kind of like a caramelly color, but I love walking around on colder days in my stateroom after I get out of the shower. If the cruise does not provide you with slippers. They're just so nice to have and a little bit more cozy than flip-flops. All right, so what did you guys think? You want to take a look around my stateroom? Let's do that. And if you're going to go ahead and peace out right now, that is absolutely okay too. Everything is down in the comments and the description for you, and I so appreciate you watching. Let's take a look around my Norwegian Aqua Club balcony suite that has the wildest balcony you've ever seen. Well, the wildest balcony I've ever seen. I'm going to take you on a tour. Here we go. This room is really unique because it's at the absolute front of the ship. So there's an extra door that you enter through that goes through the hallway. And then you come in, whoops, through the main entrance. And you can pop in and see, this is just a beautiful club balcony suite. Pretty standard, lots of great charging. I'll have a full tour coming later. There's my little setup for the video that we just did. And I want to show you guys the best part. This balcony is unbelievable. You're not going to be able to hear me out there because it's really windy. So just enjoy and take a look. Beautiful furniture. And this is what happens to your hair when you go out on that balcony. Hope you guys have enjoyed this quick casual video. I also wanted to remind everybody that Amazon's big spring sale is starting. It is March 25th through the 31st. I'll link to some of my favorite items down below for the sale. And I appreciate you all so much. Comment below, let me know if this was helpful. And until next time, we'll see you on the high seas.